Sometimes we find our holy grail, but sometimes we know one that we dislike completely, that we have tried, and it has been a love for some people, but for us it didn't work. You want to share that in the comment section. I invite you to put that in the comment section. Let me know which one has been your worst foundation. And I will also want to know, are any of these foundations that I mentioned also has been on your worst list? Hi guys, welcome to Jan's Journey. Well, do you want to see what are my worst foundations? I have no shade, and I also don't like to just say I don't like this foundation just because. There has to be many reasons. I have to have tried it many times in order for me to say it and be in the category of my worst foundations. Why? Because I love trying on foundations, and sometimes it's a love-hate relationship. At first it could give me a bad impression, and then the more I tried, I started warming up to it, and sometimes you find out that maybe the techniques that you are using might actually help the foundation and you might like it. That has been the case for me. And also changing my skincare routine, taking care of my skin. I have noticed that some foundations that did not work good for me, that I started getting oily skin in less than an hour. Once I changed my skincare routine, and especially the powder that I was applying, I noticed that this foundation became in my top 10. So there are some things that you have to really consider, and that's why I'm very careful when I say my worst. And if I say my worst, is because I have tried it and I have applied all those things before actually making it to my list. So I only have 5, and these are the reason why. So let's just get started with my worst 5. So they're not in any typical order, they're just worst, so they're not really in an order. I'm just going to mention them as I remember, because they really I couldn't work with this one. Well, this foundation I tried because it was very affordable, and I'm like, you know what, I haven't tried that foundation, so let me just try it. And they do have 2 different types. The only one that I tried was this one, where I'm going to be showing you. And I'm like, first of all, it was small. I do like that it was in a glass bottle, and it was small, so it was perfect for you to store or take it with you. I also saw that it has a nice range of colors, and I had tried CoverGirl before, and I never had this negative reaction, at least, to it. And but once I tried it, I didn't like that it comes, you just open it. It reminds me of the Maybelline Fit Me. You just open it, and it didn't have any type of pump or applicator, so you could just easily make a mess, but you could work with that. So that wasn't a big thing. The price was very affordable, but once I applied it to my face, I have never gotten such a huge pimple, and it was huge, and I started getting some type of reaction in my skin. I started breaking out a lot more. And I know I did mention to you that I do have sensitive skin, so that's why I have to be very careful. Because but this foundation, that's one of the foundations that's what's on this list that I kind of like let it go. I was able to let my skin breathe, and I tried it again, and this is really bad. If you have sensitive skin, acne prone, I don't recommend this foundation at all. Buildable, that's a plus. So, I do try to make it work, but once I see a reaction on my skin, those are the reasons why I have them in my worst list. So the other one is Soap and Glory. Soap and Glory, I like the coverage. I do like the coverage. I do like the pump. The price was very reasonable. I was only able to see these in Walgreens and Target. I really like this brand, so I really wanted to like this foundation. I tried doing a first impression, but the reaction that I got in my skin and how oily it looked not even an hour later, is the reason why I couldn't even do a first impression. I was like, what is wrong with my skin? What is going on? And these foundations, I tried them in a period of like 2 or 3 years ago, so it's not like I tried them back to back. Soap and Glory, I think, was the first foundation that I did try. No, it was the second foundation I tried. I think it was close to when it first came out or was released in the US, or at least I seen them here in Walgreens. And the scent of it smelled more like an oil. It kind of like applied almost nicely, and I did like the coverage, but I just started breaking out with that. And not only I started breaking out, but my skin was oily very quickly, so I wasn't happy with that foundation. And even though it was a drugstore, I think I paid $20 for that foundation, so even with the price point, it wasn't even worth it. So that's why I made it to my worst foundation. The third foundation I'm going to share with you, I was very surprised with this foundation. A lot of people love this foundation, and I really wanted to like this foundation because I'm saying foundation a lot on this video. Well, the reason why I wanted to like it, because a lot of people liked it and I didn't think I was gonna get this reaction. This was my first foundation that I've tried that I got a very bad reaction to my skin, and I was surprised because it was high-end. It was the shade was perfect for me. It matched me perfectly. I love the coverage. I really love the coverage, so it has a lot of plus, but I'm very sensitive to it. I still feeling that it's not going great with my skin. I have to stop, and even though I get those reactions, I want to say that maybe something I ate caused my skin to have a reaction. So or sometimes I was close to, since I have also hormonal acne, maybe I was close to it. So that's why I like to take all those things into consideration, and I will try the foundations again, and I will get the same reaction. So I knew that my skin with that product did not work good at all. That was my third one. So far I have CoverGirl, Soap and Glory, and Urban Decay, and my fourth one that I want to mention is Becca. This one I did do a first impression. I did it last year. It was one that it came out, and I really love the ingredients that it does bring. It does have some good ingredients in that product. I love the packaging. I love the range of colors that it has. But for my skin, this one wasn't much of a reaction that I got to my skin. It was that even though I have improved my skincare and my pores are looking a lot less, somehow with that foundation my pores looked like an orange, a little bit more than an orange, especially here, and my acne scars were showing so much more. So I didn't like how it looked on my skin. I didn't like how my skin looked. It was showing more those areas that are imperfect for me, and I had to build it. So you could see that first impression. I'm going to show it here. I tried it a few times. Even on that video I tried doing it a few times. I did a few demos. I don't know if in that video I included a few demos, me trying it out as well, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like it then. I tried it again. I didn't like it again. So that's the reason why I remember so clearly how bad my skin looked after using that makeup for so many times using it. So that's the reason this one I didn't have a negative reaction. It's just how bad my skin look with makeup on. And I'm like, I get some drugstore foundations have made my skin look so much better versus that one that was high-end, even though it does have some good ingredients in there. So that's why it made it to my worst foundations. And my last one that I do want to mention, this one I tried as well. I just didn't like the coverage. I didn't like how you apply it. I tried working with this foundation. This one is Burt's Bees Goodness Glows Liquid Makeup. I actually love the packaging. I love that it comes in a glass bottle. I love the range of colors. They have so many good products that has to do with makeup too. I also did a first impression, and on this first impression I think I used two different shades because I think one of them was too light. They're my first impression video that I did for the Burt's Bees as well. And I really wanted to love this foundation too. It has so many good stuff too, but with this product, it's just the way it looked on me. It's like if it dried and wherever you put it, it just created patches and it did not blend at all. I tried changing my skincare routine. By then I was changing it already too. It didn't do much of a difference. I tried putting primer. I tried putting water primer to see if that will help the way it mixed. Maybe it will flow a lot better. I've noticed that technique have worked with some other foundations, especially when they're really like dense, they're not liquidy. But with this one, I tried it. I tried everything I could, but the patches, it was just weird how it was creating patches. I tried using the sponge and the brush. I didn't like the coverage, so you have to work extra hard. And even though you're working extra hard, it didn't look flawless, it didn't look good at all. So that's the reason why I also made it to the worst list for the worst foundation. So these are the worst 5 that I was able to pick up. I don't like to say worst on some that maybe I'm still working. I like a little bit how it looks, but these are the worst that I know. I look at it and I want to try them, and sometimes I have, and it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work. It doesn't. I'm like, now I know why it's still my worst one. I'm still trying to give you some love. I'm still trying to work it out, and it doesn't work for me. So I wanted to do this video to share with you, since we're starting a new year and I love trying out foundations. A lot of my videos is first impressions, and I wanted to start the new year sharing with you all the ones that I have tried for years up to now. And these were the ones that made it to the section. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. I invite you to subscribe to my channel if you're new, and if you really enjoyed this video and the ones that made it to my list, just give me a thumbs up. And so thank you so much for watching, and until the next video, bye.